Imagine a world where lobster was considered so lowly, so worthless, that feeding it to prisoners was actually seen as a form of cruel and unusual punishment. It sounds wild today, where a lobster dinner might set you back a small fortune, but a few hundred years ago, lobsters were everywhere. They washed up on beaches in massive piles. They were so common along the North American coast that they were basically considered sea insects, bait for fishing or food for the desperately poor. In fact, in colonial times, indentured servants in New England had it written into their contracts that they could not be forced to eat lobster more than 3 times a week. It was that bad. Even prisoners in jails would sometimes protest, saying being fed lobster was inhumane. The shellfish was boiled to death and often served mashed up, shell and all. But then 2 things happened. First, the canning industry figured out how to ship lobster inland, introducing it to people who had never seen the ocean. Suddenly, it was a novelty. Then, as railways expanded, wealthy tourists from cities started visiting coastal towns. They saw locals eating lobster and, thinking it was something exotic and special, started demanding it themselves. The rarity illusion kicked in. Scarcity was created, prices soared, and the rest. Well, that's how you go from prison gruel to a 5-star meal. What's the most surprising food fact you've ever heard? Drop it in the comments below, and be sure to follow for more bite-sized stories that completely flip history on its head.